set out to change the world, and got thirsty. And that's when the revolution began. Where we come from, beer isn't just a beverage, it's a way of life. A strange, alternative, offbeat life.
After 6 years, it might be the time to get it. First, you have to take a smoke.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have just one question for you. Are you ready for some roller derby? Tonight, you will witness the Guns N' Rollers taking on the High Rollers. We're going to get this spectacle of roller derby underway in just a few short minutes. But first, joining me on the microphone today is Otter. All right, and I'd also like to get a big round of applause for our officials out there today, Nitty and Socialize. All right, now that I've got these formalities out of the way, it's time to bring out our teams. Otter, who do you got?
We've got number 12. Guns N' Rollers, my fault entirely. Guns N' Rollers, number 12, Shenanigans. Number 1221, Roller Eclipse. 272, Aaron Ishii. Number 29, Artemis Foulmouth. Number 316, E. Van Helical. Number 32, Vava Boo. 419, Juvie Hall. 4911, Chica Destruction. 516, Irie Strider. Number 76, Raven Von Chaos. And 808, Yoga Nabisari. 868, Zip Drive. Number 98, D. Molly Schur. And number 99, Van Helslinger. Put your hands together for the Guns N' Rollers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is always my pleasure to introduce the Lean Mean Ladies in Green, your High Rollers. Starting with number 121, Move Fasta. Number 17, Voodoo Jinx. 1701, Shaolin Spocker. 1969, Ruth Robertson. Number 22, Andy Oakley. Number 28, Minstrel Psycho. 299, Bad Wolf. Number 4, and team captain, Rogue One. 423, Nuga Knockout. 51, Coup de Gras. 63, Ruby Blitz. 777, Rosemary's Baby. 911, Mayday. And 97, Tiggs. Once again, folks, get your hands together for the High Rollers.
Well, all right, there you have the house call of none other than the King and Otter. On the house call, I am Hamtrak, joining you on the webcast. Ben on the camera. We are pleased to bring you the High Rollers and the Guns N' Rollers. Guns N' Rollers off to a heck of a start this season, starting 2-0. High Rollers still looking for win number 1 on the year. And we are about ready for the first jam coming at you. First jammers out are Zip Drive for the Guns N' Rollers, Bad Wolf for the High Rollers. If you're not familiar, High Rollers are in green, Guns N' Rollers in black. And Zip Drive gets through on the inside through Mayday and will be the first lead jammer. Bad Wolf only has Yoganabisari left to deal with and gets through. After a 5-point scoring pass for Zip Drive, she's going to try for a couple more before calling this off. And I believe she's going to get it. Zip Drive getting 1 more point. Penalty box is clear going into Jam 2. Up next, jamming for the Guns N' Rollers is number 12, Shenanigans. And it's going to be Nuga Knockout, the relatively new high roller, transferred from Cherry City in Salem. A little bit of jockeying for position on the jam line there, and a quick move to the inside for Shenanigans. And she is through for lead jammer, looking for points now. High Rollers got their 4-wall set. Nuga only has 1 to beat as Raven Von Chaos, or RVK, gets called on a penalty. And Nuga is free of the pack also. Guns finding room on that inside line and being told to run the jam by Coach Bonnie Thunders momentarily. And it's going to stay run. I think the Guns N' Rollers looking to get somebody out of the penalty box. Guns moving to the inside with some help from Shaolin Spocker. Now looking for as many points as possible before Nuga can get another scoring pass in, and gets all 4. So an 8-4 jam in Jam 2 in favor of the Guns N' Rollers. 14-4 is your score. Up next for the Guns N' Rollers is Eve Angelical, up against Ruby Blitz, also a transfer from Salem, Oregon, Cherry City, roller derby. Out and running, Ruby looking for room on the outside, and the door gets closed by Nobby. Getting a little bit of assistance from Ruth Robertson on offense there. Nobby getting called off on a penalty. Only 2 to deal with now for Ruby, and this could be the first. Nope. I was going to say it might be the first lead jammer for the High Rollers this game, but Helical gets through on the inside to take lead jammer, but Ruby is not far behind. two Guns and Rollers sitting in the penalty box. So we're going to see how long they choose to run this jam to see if they're going to get their skaters out. Oh, and she is going to call it off. Helical calls it off after getting 3 more points. 3 points per team. But the Guns and Rollers starting with 2 in the box. Coach OMG making some final substitutions on track, leaving Roller Eclipse out there with Artemis Foulmouth. And now we have an official timeout. That is a Porque No Taco timeout. Porque yes, Porque no.
They want to make sure the score is right, the penalties are correct, and everything is set before they move on to the next jam.
Well, the officials have whatever they need to discuss wrapped up rather quickly. Nitty is our head referee tonight. Socialize, the head NSO. Ooh, some last-second jockeying on the jam line between the jammers. Bad Wolf for the High Rollers going up against that 2-wall. Roller Eclipse and Artemis Foulmouth making a pretty darn good 2-wall. Holding Bad Wolf for long enough to buy a little bit of time to get some of those blockers out of the penalty box. Chica Destruction doing work jamming for the High Rollers, doing a little bit of defense. I'm sorry, for the Guns and Rollers, doing a little bit of defense there for a moment. And now trying to get through that wall, just barely steps out, courtesy of Shaolin Spocker. And Bad Wolf is looking to collect some points. Chica still looking to get out on initial in turn 2. Multiplayer block being called on Tiggs. And Chica gets out on the initial pass. Nabi doing work on Bad Wolf, and Bad Wolf will call it off. But not before Chica Destruction sneaks in for 2 quick points. And a 9-2 jam in favor of the High Rollers. All right, coming into Jam 5, we have a 3-point game. Zip Drive jamming for the Guns and Rollers. Nuga Knockout, rather, jamming for the High Rollers. Both jammers not having a good time with the defenses right now, as they are basically clumped into one big 8-wall right now, which is, it's hard to get out of your own jammer's way, but even worse when it's penned in and both walls are right there next to each other. Now we have a little bit of separation, and Zip Drive finds some room on that outside of that apex. The apex is very friendly to jammers. It's a very wide part of the track. And Tiggs out of the penalty box now. And Zip Drive looking to get a few points before calling off. And they're looking a little confirmation from the outside pack ref to see how many points were obtained by the Guns and Rollers on that last jam. Meanwhile, we will mention Bridgeport Brewing and thank them for their sponsorship of RCR. That is Bridgeport Brewing. 2 points picked up by the Guns and Rollers on that last jam, so extending the lead. Shenanigans, the transfer from out in New Jersey, getting out for lead jammer. Up against Ruby Blitz, and both jammers are very close together. We'll see what strategy plays out here. Rolls is trying to protect that point, but I think she's going to run out of room. The call-off was there. No, they're saying 2. 2 points for GNR. We're seeing a very close game here. Both teams just very small margins of leads in these in every jam so far, keeping it nice and close. Up next on that Tonkin.com jammer line is Evangelical and Bad Wolf. Tonkin.com is the largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest. Only a click away at Tonkin.com. Helical getting lead jammer, as noted by Jam Ref Inspector Spaceman, who came up from Eugene. Helical looking for some points and now getting a couple as Bad Wolf finally clears the pack on the initial. And Helical will call it off before Bad Wolf even gets close to that pack. But getting all 4 points, that's all she needed. Also, a big thank you to OHSU Sports Medicine. They are proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers. OHSU Sports Medicine. Zero jam timing tonight, giving the 5-second call, and now starting us into jam number 8. We have Nuga Knockout up against Zip Drive. Zip Drive working the front pack, and Nuga Knockout getting lead jammer. Zip Drive not far behind, about 20 feet. So we'll see what happens here. Pack starts to increase speed as we get into people protecting points and such. Nuga pushed down Shaolin Spocker and gave a quick point over to GNR. So 1-0 GNR in that jam. 12-point lead now for GNR with just about 10 minutes gone in the first half. Voodoo Donut, the magic is in the hole. Proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers and the Wheels of Justice. Jam 9 here. Ruby Blitz and Chica Destruction are the jammers of record. Chica working in the back. And Ruby getting some help from Coupe de Gras with that wall. RVK and Coupe now having to bridge to keep the pack together. Ruby pushing that front wall, and she gets through one. Penalty on Ruth Robertson, and it looks like one on Andy Oakley as well. High Rollers doing well against Chica Destruction right now as Ruby Blitz gets through for lead jammer. Chica gets recycled to the outside in turn 1. And now everyone's back on track. Penalty box looking rather full. 2 blockers for the High Rollers and 1 for GNR in the box right now. Ruby gets through for 4 points. Chica, well, all of the High Rollers are off. They're all in the penalty box, at least momentarily. So I think they had to allow Ruby to go because there was not enough players on the track to create a pack. So things obviously got a little chaotic there in the penalty boxes. There are 2 blockers and a pivot in the box for the High Rollers. I believe Rogue One had a penalty also, but was put back on the track in queue. There are now 2 blockers, a blocker and a pivot in the box for the Guns and Rollers, and we have some insanity going on in the penalty box. Official timeout has been called. A Porque No Taco timeout has been called. Big shout out to 808. Food so good, straight broke the mouth. 2 locations on Burnside and Woodstock. Also, one of our newer sponsors, Killer Burger. 5 minutes to burgers, beer, and bottomless fries. Killer Burger. So the officials getting together to discuss the situation that's going on in the penalty box with, I believe, all 4 High Rollers with a penalty on them. 3 in the box, Rogue One on track, or it was Rogue One, now it's Coupe de Gras. So things are changing. Points are being determined here. So only 3 blockers on the track total. Nabi, Artemis for GNR, Coupe de Gras for the High Rollers, and everybody else in the penalty box. Bad Wolf trying to play a little bit of offense, or a little defense at first, but it was not to be. Shenanigans with the quick call off there before any more points can be scored. by the High Rollers. 4-0 jam there. Penalty box situation much different now. Only one in the box per side. So a much more populated track to start this next jam. Selwood Pet Supply, quality nutrition and supplies for your pet at Selwood Pet Supply. Jam 11 begins with Nuga Knockout and Evangelical. And Nuga is trying to push through two. She's only got 2 to get through. Looking to tap dance on that inside line. Can't make it happen. Gets recycled all the way back to the jam line. Meanwhile, Helical got through. I didn't see anyone called for lead jam, but perhaps I missed it. Jam ends 0-0. Echo Construction. The friendly people at Echo Construction love custom home building, remodels, and roller derby. Don't we all? Zip Drive and Bad Wolf coming through the respective walls here. Nobby getting some help now from Van Helslinger. And Demolisher on the front. Van Helslinger falls back to bridge the pack. Now it's up to Nobby as Molly is having to hold. And finally, Bad Wolf is through for lead jammer. Now Zip Drive looking for some help from offense, but goes out of bounds, and the High Rollers will recycle all the way back to the jam line. Bad Wolf now scoring. Getting some help on offense from Tiggs there. And a successful star pass as Yoga Nabisari now taking the star from Zip Drive to try and call off the jam is Bad Wolf. So a very good star pass there to stop the bleeding on that jam. Thanks to Buffalo Gap Saloon and Eatery, John's Landing's favorite eatery and saloon. 11 points is the gap now between the teams, 36-25, with about just over half of the first half left to play. Packed house tonight here at the Hangar at Oaks Park. If you do not have your tickets for tomorrow night, you should probably get them fairly quickly, as that game is probably going to sell out as well. Or better yet, get your season pass so you don't have to worry about not getting tickets to any game coming up. Chica Destruction coming through that pack on the first scoring pass. Gets through everybody and gets the quick call off before Ruby Blitz can come in and score. Two-Town cider. It's damn fine cider made here in the Pacific Northwest. I just like saying that. Nuga Knockout for the High Rollers. Evangelical for, sorry, that's Shenanigans jamming for the Guns N' Rollers. Ruth Robertson getting a penalty for cutting as Shenanigans gets pushed out to the inside. Penalty being called on Voodoo Jinx. And now only that 2-all to hold back Shenanigans. But Nuga is lead jammer, but behind right now. And it looks like they want to run it to get some of these penalties cleared out, as there are 3 in the box. Rogue One will have to go back out in queue, as no one was standing at the time. More penalties being called, as this jam is just going to get run. 4-4 right now are the points, and here we go. Everyone's back to the penalty box. Here comes a whole fleet in for GR now. This one's going to be a jam of attrition as Nuga Knockout come back in. There are now 3 High Rollers on the track, but only 1, now 2 Guns N' Rollers. But another penalty being called now. Oh, Van Helslinger with the hit on Nuga. And now Nuga being called on a penalty. So it's a power jam for GNR. 3 blockers on track for the High Rollers, only 2 for GNR. Now Rogue One rejoining the High Rollers, and Guns gets through for 5 more. Couple of real chaotic jams for the penalty box timers. Oh, and Shenanigans almost getting through the pack on that one, but now the High Rollers have reformed and the time runs out on that jam, but not before a 27-8 jam in favor of GNR, the highest scoring jam of the game so far. Deb Counts Tabor, let Deb guide you home. Proud realtor sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. Welcome to PDX.com. We have another official timeout, another taco timeout, por que no. As the officials trying to agree on scoring for that particular jam. I believe that's the jam ref for the High Rollers, Locutus of Quad. A wonderful Star Trek reference. And now the jam ref talking on the intercom with the scorekeepers up here in the mezzanine. I want to thank you for tuning in on the Friday night webcast. Don't forget there are games here all weekend. Tomorrow night is the Heartless Heathers and the Breakneck Betties, followed by the Juniors playing on Sunday. So please come out and watch. Also, big thanks to Black Cat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company and a proud sponsor of RCR and the Wheels of Justice since 2009. So now 36 points between the teams now as they reduced the High Rollers' points on that jam from 8 to 6. Now the officials have signaled that they are ready to continue, coming into jam 15. And the 3-wall of the High Rollers working on Bad Wolf. Helical gets recycled out to the inside by Spocker. I think Rolls was in on it too. Rolls and Spocker making a great 2-wall right there, getting some help from Minstrel Psycho. Mufasa out there as well, but Helical gets out for lead jammer. And a forearm penalty on Bad Wolf, so power jam for GNR, getting all the benefit of offense out there. But now a penalty on Evangelical. We'll have a jammer swap in the box and a 2-minute jam. Bad Wolf now returning to the track, followed shortly by Helical. Oh, High Rollers were not quite together when Helical came back on the track, but the hit recycling Helical out to the outside gives the High Rollers time to reform and get back together. But Helical finds room on the outside of turns 3 and 4, but a big hit by Rolls puts out Helical, and that is going to afford them some time to play a little bit of offense and try and get Bad Wolf out. Doesn't happen, and Helical gets out for 5 more points. Bad Wolf has the Jammer Star in hand. The pivot just now back in the game. Oh, Spocker almost takes the pass, but Bad Wolf gets through. And finally, as the jam ends, Bad Wolf got out of the pack. 8-0 jam, though, in favor of GNR. WSL Leadership Coaching, helping you be more awesome in your work, sport, and life. Because who doesn't want to be more awesome? Especially a roller derby. Pivot sitting in the box for GNR, so advantage high rollers. And Ruby Blitz tap dancing on the outside and stays in. Beautiful footwork there. And Ruby getting lead jammer, zip drive not far behind, about a half a track. So we're going to see how the strategy plays out here. Oh, untouched. Ruby gets through and calls it off. Very nice jam for Ruby Blitz and the high rollers doing, or I'm sorry, the high rollers. So many rollers on the track. High rollers doing a great job of offense there and keeping everyone out of Ruby's way. Tonight's live broadcast is brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media. Thank you, Blaze Streaming Media. Pack advantage still to the high rollers. And Nuga Knockout looking for some room on that outside. Now gets some offense from Shaolin Spocker, but Chica Destruction gets lead jammer in the meantime. About 40 feet between the jammers, so time for Chica to grab a point or two. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty called. Chica was trying to get the call off, but I believe it was a skating out of bounds penalty. It's hard to say. Nuga Knockout now will have to finish this jam alone. Oh, but nope. Nuga now gets a penalty. Another jammer swap. Chica Destruction coming back to the track. And a very, very busy game so far for the penalty trackers and for the penalty box. Non-skating officials will have to get a quick count of penalties at the half, which is under 9 minutes to go. Both jammers back out on the track now. Chica not finding any room on the inside. Spocker says no. Nuga is doing work on this four wall here in turn 4. Not getting any help. Trying to push them out of play, and she's getting them strung out, and Nuga finally gets through. Nice, good effort there to get through a four wall without any help. Nuga on the outside. Oh, and finds some beautiful work out there on the outside line and gets through. Meanwhile, Rolls sends Chica out of bounds, but she gets screened and can't run her back too far. 15 seconds left in this jam, and now the defenses are taking hold. Jammers are getting tired. This is tough, tough work for Jammers. Now a cut call being called on Rosemary's Baby. And now the jam will come to its natural conclusion. But a big jam for the High Rollers, 17-9. They certainly needed those points to climb back in now. PDX Pipeline, your online source for Portland's music, arts, and events happenings. PDX Pipeline. We have Bad Wolf and Shenanigans with some fancy footwork of her own on the outside line. And lead jammer, Bad Wolf, finally getting through on the initial, getting through Nabi and Juvie Hall. Guns getting 4 more points and the call off before Bad Wolf can get around. A little incidental contact between Bad Wolf and Ruth Robertson. A big thank you also to Garden Bar, one of the sponsors of RCR, Garden Bar. Zip drive, benefiting from an early call on the High Rollers. Ruby Blitz with 1 to beat and can't get through, but they go down, so a no pass, no penalty for Ruby Blitz. A zip drive comes through on the scoring pass, and track coach Bonnie Thunders orders the call off and gets it. 4-0 jam. for GNR. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the first half. 40 points separate the teams. Oaks Amusement Park, home of the Rose City Rollers, and the place to purchase your Derby gear. Oh, Shenanigans, almost exactly the same move as last time, with some fancy footwork there on that outside line, having no problem getting through that high roller wall. Now looking for points as Nuga Knockout coming back through on the first scoring pass. No call off by GNR here, so Nuga is collecting points. Now GNR will call it off. We'll see how this one goes. Looks like 4-4. Thanks to these following sponsors: the Portland Mercury and Shebop. All right, we have Bad Wolf and Evangelical. Evangelical finding room on that outside. This has been a theme these last couple of jams. Guns N' Rollers have found a weakness on the outside of the high rollers wall and are exploiting it. Artemis Foulmouth getting called on a penalty. Helical staying inbounds despite falling and falling again. Rosemary's Baby and Minstrel Psycho able to hold momentarily, but Helical gets through for 5 points. Penalty box starting to fill up again. 2 blockers for GNR, 1 for the High Rollers. Minstrel Psycho trying to be the last line of defense, can't make it happen. And Helical gets 5 more. Artemis Foulmouth looking to play a little bit of offense here for Helical, and it works, getting through. Bad Wolf now out on the initial, and the jam comes to an end. Thank you to these sponsors: Trailhead Credit Union and Bike Punk. 5 seconds called by 0. And the jam begins. Chica Destruction and Ruby Blitz. Oh, Chica almost had it on the inside and couldn't make it work. Ruby Blitz gets through for lead jammer. Hellslinger gets called on a penalty. Successful star pass to Nobby. Ruby Blitz getting some offense there. Only 1 left to beat. Ruth Robertson going to play a little bit of O. But Ruby is going to call that one off before getting there. Did get all 4, so that point had already been obtained. Good awareness by Ruby to call it off and not worry about getting past that person that they'd already gotten their point. Two minutes left in the first half. 110-60 the score in favor of the Guns N' Rollers. Zip Drive looking for room on the outside again, and does it again, but getting a penalty. Looks like a forearm. I thought it was someone else's forearm wrapped around Zip Drive, but perhaps I was incorrect. Nuga getting lead jammer, and the High Rollers wanting to end this half on a positive note. Nuga needs to let the offense form a little bit more in front of her there. Gets through and is out of the pack now. Only 1 left to beat, as it was a pretty good job of recycling by Juvie Hall, but finally getting through. And Nuga getting 5 important points as Zip Drive now re-enters the track. High Rollers reforming to try and stay in front of Zip Drive. Shaolin Spocker recycling all the way back to the apex. Getting help from Coupe de Gras and Move Fasta. Fancy footwork on the inside line there, but can't get through. Now getting some offense from Hellslinger. Just a big mess of an 8-wall right there for both jammers. But Zip Drive gets through. Finally through on the initial, and Nuga's going to call this one off. I don't think there'll be time for another jam unless someone calls a timeout. No, if nobody calls a timeout, this jam won't start. Or calls an official review would be a better way to do it. And it doesn't happen. So that is how we are going to end the first half. GNR 110, High Rollers 70. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
And we're going to be back in 15 minutes for the second half. But I'm going to be down on the floor in just a minute. We're going to get the games started and the halftime entertainment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. We've got tricycle races. So, how this is played, they have to successfully make it around the track, and the first one to come back across this jammer line is the big winner. So, we do this in 3 sets, and the winner from each set will then compete for the Grandmaster prize of the Big Foam Finger. Where's the Big Foam Finger? Bell. Big Foam Finger. That's our big Grandmaster prize. It is coveted. It is one of a kind, so you want to win this big thing. Are you guys ready? All right. So when I say it, on your mark, get set, go! Somebody had it figured out.
That must have been the one I greased today. I think we've got a ringer.
Well, I think we got winner number 1 right there. All right, so let's get them lined up for heat number 2. All right. You guys, let's hear some cheering. Come on. They're about to battle this out. So are you guys ready? Are you set? Go! Come on, you can do it!
He's clearly practiced this before, folks. This is a lesson in believing in yourself.
All right, and that's how you end right there. Nice work. Hey, man, you actually made it around. That's better than the first set. All right. So, we've got our second winner. Let's go ahead and get this last group all ready to go. I like
a little
your
bit of
style. You're not
customization
gonna
there.
Make the correction the way it goes. All right. This last winner will go on to compete for the big foamy finger. You guys, let's give him another big round of applause right here. All right, are you guys ready? Set, go.
There's just something magical about grown adults on tricycles.
Bellstar, oh.
We have a pinch peddler. Oh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Oh, photo finish.
I thought Bellstar was gonna do it for him too. All right. All right, so let's get our 3 victorious winners out here to see who the true bicycle or tricycle champion is gonna be. All right, these are 3 big winners. I want to hear a big round of applause for all 3 of these guys. They've made it this far in the evening. They have to look forward to Derby nachos and drinking beer after this. Are you guys ready? Who wants the big finger? The big foamy finger, not mine. All right. Are you set? And go.
Oh, a little bit of strategizing. I see. First blood awarded to the lady in the white hat. Oh!
I think he was watching the blockers out there. He's like, I know how this works. We've got our winner. All right, and for all of our losers, we've got fantastic Rose City Roller Band-Aids, because you never know. All right, guys, thank you very much. We're going to be throwing some bread. Who likes Fran's bread? All right, so get your hands in the air and get ready for some glutes.
Who wants this one?
It's okay.
So much bread. I was aiming for you.
Oh, look at the high roller fan with a quick
That was
hand.
King. It was totally King's fault.
Where else can you have this much fun and entertainment and get bread? All right, hey, we got about 6 minutes left until the next jam comes up. We're gonna clean this up and then we're gonna do the raffle. So just give us a few minutes, make sure you're here, get your raffle tickets out, and get ready. Yeah, put it back in the basket. I didn't think about that.
So one of the VIPs caught a loaf in the back of the head.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the raffle. Get your tickets out. We've got awesome stuff. Tell them what we got.
Tonight we have 4 tickets to the Thorns game, a 1-hour massage by Pariso, Pets of GNR calendar, a gift certificate for Off the Waffle, another gift certificate for the pencil test, Sweet Dreams mattress lot, excuse me, 187 helmet by 5 Stride, complimentary Brower bikini sugaring, yoga passes, a Reiki session with Eve and Helical, spirits tasting at New Deal, earrings by Betsy and Aya, and last but not least, a custom-made pink leather purse.
That's right, all that fun stuff adds up to almost $1,000 in prizes in this raffle. So, without further ado, everybody get your tickets. Get ready. And my lucky number is 2377412. 2377412. Harkey. That's why we can't have nice things. Right there? All right, let's see it. 2377412. We've got a winner. All right. Well, we got about 2 minutes, so that's about how much time you got to get your next beer. We will see you here in just a minute.
You should probably use the bathroom for that.
You know, this might be as good a time as any to bring up the pulled pork nachos that Kay's brought tonight. Oh my gosh, these are so good. Woo! If you know me, you know I always have food close by. Well, welcome back for half number 2. GNR against the High Rollers. Still got 30 seconds to chew on these nachos. Oh man, are these good. Did I mention those from Kay's Bar? One of our sponsors here at RCR. We also want to shout out Jazzberry, our Gold Star volunteer for the evening. Somebody loved her enough to nominate her as a Gold Star volunteer for giving her life to RCR, which she is a phenomenal volunteer. Scorekeeping tonight. All right, here we come into jam number 1 of half number 2.
We've got Zip Drive
It's
on the
Bad
line
Wolf
going up
and
against
Zip
Bad
Drive,
Wolf.
the first jammers. Zip Drive finding room on the outside as a couple of High Rollers take a tumble. And Zip Drive coming through trying to collect some points as the star's been removed from Bad Wolf's helmet. The pivot is Ruth Robertson, but Ruth is busy dealing with Zip Drive right now and now recycling back. Bad Wolf trying to get close to Ruth. Now pretty close. We'll see if this star pass happens or not. Now Ruth dropping back behind Bad Wolf. Both defenses settling in nicely now as the Jammers are not finding a whole lot of workable room right now. Bad Wolf getting recycled back to turn number 1. Rogue One getting called off on a penalty. Oh, but Tiggs doing some great work there on zip drive before having to let go. I'm sorry, that was Mayday. And this one will end 5-0 Jam. That was a tough one for both Jammers. Now we're going to see Shenanigans and Nuga Knockout. Big thanks to Vacasa and Laurelhurst Theater and Pub. Oh, Shenanigans almost getting through on that inside, taking a tumble, but able to stay in bounds and getting up quickly and getting through for lead jammer. Nuga only with a couple to beat, but gets run out to the outside and all the way back to the beginning, as they say. Juvie Hall been doing some great work tonight. But now Nuga is dug in to Van Helslinger and Juvie Hall. Trying to get through, can't. Got some help from RVK now. Now the offense comes in a Spocker, and that's all it takes to get Nuga free out of the initial pass now. And Guns is going to call that one off. 5-0 Jam in favor of GNR. 50 points now separate the teams. You may have seen some of that bread being tossed into the crowd here. That was courtesy of Franz Bakery. And now we have an official timeout being called, a taco timeout. Por que no? So a little bit of track maintenance is going to take place here. Looks like some tiles may have come up in the OPR lane, the outside pack ref lane. And some tape will be applied. Don't need anyone catching an edge and falling, especially not our wonderful officials. Well, meanwhile, back on that Tonkin.com jammer line, we have Ruby Blitz for the High Rollers and Evan Helical for the Guns N' Rollers. Tonkin.com has the largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest. It's only a click away at Tonkin.com. Track repair complete. And we're ready to go. Oh, Ruby looking for some room on the outside, not finding it. Helical working on the inside. Now they have swapped. Ruby back on the inside, Helical on the outside. And a beautiful high roller wall digging in right now. Ruth Robertson and Coupe de Gras getting help from Mayday and Andy Oakley, but Helical gets through, and Ruby Blitz on the outside finding some room, about a half a lap behind. Plenty of time for Helical to do some work. Finds a way to stay inbounds, gets all the points, and calls it off. Bridgeport Brewing, big thanks to one of our fine beer sponsors, Bridgeport Brewing. Chica Destruction jamming for GNR. Bad Wolf pushing that front wall and really getting some good distance out of them. Both jammers keep moving the pack though, so the pack is able to stay together. Bad Wolf working on a 2-wall right now, but they're very cleverly using the outside line as a third blocker, so to speak. So Bad Wolf not having a good time, and that is a cut call on Chica Destruction. Power jam in favor of the High Rollers. Bad Wolf, only 2 to beat, gets through. Lead jammer to Bad Wolf, the only jammer on the track right now. And a great chance for the High Rollers to try and cut into the lead of GNR. Bad Wolf hits, here comes the sweep. Looking for room on the inside, tap dances through, gets in, and 5 points, just like that. Good coordinated offense by the High Rollers. High Rollers wall now preparing for Chica Destruction, who's back on the track. Some quick offense there. Beautiful, beautiful offense by Artemis Foulmouth, and that springs Chica free. And now Chica out on the initial and the call off to avoid any more points. And it's 4-0 on that jam. One of the sponsors of the Guns N' Rollers is Compassion Arts PDX. Thanks to Hamid Bennett at Compassion Arts PDX, proud sponsor of GNR. Into Jam 5 now. Nuga and Zip. Nuga knockout, getting lead jammer on that outside line. Zip Drive struggling with the High Roller wall right now. And Nuga pushes right through the middle of that tripod. Now both walls getting bunched up together. And it is just a big pack of bodies right there in the exit of turn 2. Zip Drive having a hard time on this jam. Stars off. The pivot, Yoganabe Sari close by, but no pass yet. Sometimes just taking the star off of the helmet is enough to distract the blockers. And oftentimes you'll see the jammer able to get through and then just have to put the star back on in order to collect more points. 2-point pass. Very tough one for both jammers, as it was only 2-0. You see Tiggs lining up on the outside here for the High Rollers, wearing the armbands of Team Russia. Tiggs just come back from Manchester, United Kingdom, where she skated for her home country of Russia. Ruby Blitz coming through for lead jammer for the High Rollers. And Shenanigans, not lead jammer for, I wouldn't say the first time, but it's been an awful lot of lead jams she's had. And some quick footwork on the outside, and she's able to get through out on the initial. And Ruby trying to collect as many points as possible. And she gets them all and calls it off. So that's going to be a 10. Are they saying it's 10 or is it just 5? They must have already counted it. It's a 5-0 jam for the High Rollers. Still plenty of time left in this game, and the High Rollers are clawing their way back in. They've cut the deficit almost in half from where they were at halftime. So the High Rollers definitely talked about some things during halftime and were able to identify some things. And now they're doing better things. Lots of things. Helical getting some help from RVK on offense, but the High Rollers wall holding strong of Rogue One, Ruth Robertson, Mayday, and Voodoo Jinx, all dug in and Helical not getting anywhere, but a cut track call on Bad Wolf, so that is going to make Evan Helical lead jammer as she's now through. Helical looking to collect some points, got a couple there, but great defense by the High Rollers on this power jam to really limit the damage here, waiting for the offense to come. Helical now looking for room on the outside. Barely gets through. Did she? Yep. 5 points for Helical. Bad Wolf now back on the track, and RBK getting some help from Irie Strider. Trying to hold her back. Not going to happen. And Bad Wolf is through. Helical collecting more points and getting the call off as GNR responds with 9 points to nothing. Just under 20 minutes left in the game. Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, a proud sponsor of the High Rollers, the best of modern cinema, independent, art, and classic film for Portland's movie lovers. Laurelhurst Theater and Pub. Nuga knockout jamming for the High Rollers. Zip drive looking for some room, but cannot get through. Rosemary's Baby. Rolls getting called on a penalty, so now Zip drive gets through. Great defense in the meantime. Aaron Ishii headed to the box also for GNR. So one blocker aside in the box. Nuga looking for room here. Trying to get around Roller Eclipse. And it's not happened yet. Nice GNR wall here. And Nuga now going back to the penalty box. Great job by the GNR wall there. Great defense and drawing the penalty on Nuga knockout. Now Zip Drive gets a penalty. Another jammer swap, third one of the game. Nuga knockout getting some offense there as Zip Drive stays in the box. Now coming back out on the track. High Rollers not quite all together as Zip Drive came back on the track, but they've now reined her back in and got it all back together. Oh, nice little juke there by Nuga knockout. And clears the pack. This jam's going the full 30 seconds as both jammers were in the penalty box. Both jammers scoring. Four wall of GNR dug in now on Nuga. Roll's not able to get a good hit on Zip Drive, so Zip Drive gets through for 4. Nuga now gets through after getting some offense. And that jam will come to a conclusion. Another sponsor of the High Rollers is Red Fox Vintage. Find your retro at the Fox. Last minute position changes before the jam starts. Ruby Blitz jamming for High Rollers up against Shenanigans. Getting a shoulder full of coup de grace. Oh, and now, oh, wow. Great work by the High Rollers to get through. And some pretty aware jamming by Shenanigans to come in front of the people that she did not have to come in front of. Now both jammers, both jammers. Shenanigans takes out Ruby. And a quick hug as the jam ends. A little jammer on jammer crime, but no hard feelings. Chica Destruction and Bad Wolf are your jammers. Bad Wolf trying to get through on the front, getting some help from Ruth Robertson. Nabi getting away from the offense at first, coming back and getting away again. Now Bad Wolf gets that wall to moving and gets free. Chica Destruction also getting free after having all that offense come back. And now Bad Wolf going to try and collect as many as possible here, and decides to just call it as she was seen to the floor on the inside of turn 2. Upswept Creative, we build your strong, smart, beautiful business brand. Another sponsor of the High Rollers. Coming into Jam 11 here. Still half of the second half left to go. And Nuga Knockout getting lead jammer for the High Rollers. Pretty even on both sides. As far as lead jammers go, Nuga gets through Demolisher on the first go round and then calling it off. But did Helical get any points? Yes. 2-2, tie jam. Ruby Blitz and Zip Drive coming back up to the line. Oh, Zip Drive with some nice work on the inside line there, getting through for lead jammer. Oh, wow, and Ruby Blitz knocked out, but it was an illegal hit by Yoga Navisari, directional. And she will get through, so 5 points scored by Zip Drive. Ruby's about 15 feet behind. And the order from Coach OMG is to call. So the jam ends. Just under 50 points between the two teams with 13 minutes left. Still anyone's game. The High Rollers really want this first win of the season. Shenanigans up next to jam for GNR, up against Bad Wolf. Oh, Shenanigans, Mohawks around the back of Bad Wolf. Oh, but Coupe de Gras draws the cut call on Shenanigans, and Bad Wolf will get lead jammer. Well, no, they're doing it as an initial. So they have not queued Bad Wolf as lead jammer, even though Shenanigans had cut the track, courtesy of Coupe de Gras. So this jam will go 2 minutes. High Rollers doing offense work against the 3-wall of GNR. Still have a blocker in the box. Nice job by GNR to hold Bad Wolf back in the midst of this power jam. And now Shenanigans working the crowd just a little bit. And the jam, is the jam over? Both jammers in the box. I thought there was a call-off whistle, but now we have another jammer swap, the 4th one of the game. So this one is going. Both walls dug in on these jammers, not having any luck, but Shenanigans tries on the outside line, can't make it happen. Gets knocked out and recycled back by Ruth Robertson. Now rushing up to join Rogue One. Rogue One and Voodoo Jinx. Now Coupe de Gras joining. And Bad Wolf will get through for 5 more. Now here comes the offense of GNR. And the jam will finally end, and I think both jammers are thrilled about that. WSL Leadership Coaching, helping you be more awesome in your work, sport, and life. Just over 10 minutes left in this game. Only 40 points between the teams now. Helical, wow, gets a big hit from Minstrel Psycho, but they have to let her go. Helical is your lead jammer. Nuga Knockout with the star in her hand finally gets through and is out on the initial. GNR just doing a little bit of clock management right now. They don't wait till the last second to call it off, though, but those are seconds that could be ticked off with the clock, and waiting for the other jammer to come around will eat up precious time off of this clock. Time that they want to keep away from the high rollers. Looks like we got Ruby Blitz and Zip Drive back on the line. And both jammers stuck in on the outside line. Oh, but Ruby Blitz is the one to knock Zip Drive out. Oh, and Zip Drive cut everybody. My word. Zip Drive will go to the box. This will be a power jam. But now Ruby gets a power jam in our 5th jammer swap of the game. So Zip Drive and Ruby back on the track now. And both defenses digging in. Good work by Minstrel Psycho to see. Oh! And it's going to be a low block call on Zip Drive as Minstrel Psycho fell right over the top. And this game is getting a little crazy penalty-wise. If we get a team timeout or an official timeout of some kind, I'll see if I can get some penalty totals here. But the penalties have been fast and furious. So still 50 seconds left in this jam. Ruby Blitz able to stay on her feet momentarily. Recycles in behind Aaron Ishii and now gets through for 5. A Zip Drive coming out of the penalty box again. Ruby Blitz looking for room on the inside, but Van Helslinger and Aaron Ishii say no thank you. Helslinger gets a directional penalty though, so Ruby's only got 2 to beat, but the 2 is enough of Aaron Ishii and Vava Boom. Aaron Ishii doing solo work on Ruby right now, and it seems to be effective for the time being, but Ruby springs free. Minstrel Psycho getting a directional penalty. And this jam finally comes to a conclusion, but it's a big one for the High Rollers. 15-0 jam for the High Rollers. That's just what the doctor ordered. 153-124. This is still anyone's game. OHSU Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers. OHSU Sports Medicine. And we have a team timeout.
Timeout on the track being called by the Guns N' Rollers.
Porque no for the taco timeout.
Should be official, but I can't have it yet. It's okay. 7 minutes left in the game. Give me some bucks.
And folks, lest we forget, Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, the best of modern cinema, independent art, and classic film for Portland's movie lovers.
And this jam is back underway. We're going to see Chica Destruction down on the line going up against Bad Wolf. Both teams have one player sitting in the
All right, that team timeout comes to an end. I was able to run down and get a picture of the penalty board. So we'll see what that looks like. And now we have another official timeout, so I can catch my breath. Looks like there's probably 3-4 skaters that are floating right at 6 penalties right now. Of course, at 7 is where you start to see some people fouling out. Chica Destruction gets through beautifully on the outside. Oh, and she gets through untouched, but the momentum carries her out of bounds. So she's going to have to recycle back through, and the high rollers will get another shot, and oh, just hangs a toe stop out and has to come back through the inside. And Move Fasta with Rolls and Spocker doing the defensive work here. Beautiful reforming and nice hit by Spocker to get Chica out on the inside. On the outside, rather. Oh, and the high rollers not together, but are still able to recycle Chica to the outside. Now some offense by Roller Eclipse. Chica trying to get through. Bad Wolf with the star in hand. But that GNR wall is dug in hard right now and not allowing anything. Getting communication from Roller Eclipse, letting the pack know, letting the wall know where they're at. Now here comes some offense by Spocker. Both jammers at the point in the jam where it is very, very tiring stuff. Chica almost through, but Minstrel Psycho able to recycle out towards the inside. Spocker's trying to work some offense there, but GNR is taking it rather well. Chica does get through for 5. And now here comes the cavalry. But it's just not enough, and Bad Wolf not able to escape that wall. And the jam will come to an end. Just under 5 left in the game. 160 to 124 is your score. Time starting to run out on the high rollers. GNR looking to continue an undefeated season. And now we have an official timeout. A taco timeout. Porque yes.
So we're Pet Supply. Quality nutrition and supplies for your pet.
The magic is in the hole. Voodoo Donut is a proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers and the Wheels of Justice. And Two Town Cider, that is damn fine cider made here in the Pacific Northwest. High Rollers cheerleaders now getting the fans into the game. Oh, the GNR fans responding. All in good fun. We have Nougat Knockout and Shenanigans on that Tonkin.com jammer line. The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com. 5 seconds is called by the jam timer, and now we begin. Oh, Nuga with a nice move on the outside. The wall was still moving back towards the jam line, which limits their side-to-side mobility as they were moving backwards, and Nuga read it and made appropriate adjustments, gets all the points, and calls it off for a 4-0 jam. High Rollers having kind of the upper hand on lead jams here lately. They're running out of time. They're not going to get it done on 4-0 jams. They're going to have to run and hope for a power jam or two to get things going back in their favor. But they do elect to call off, and it's 4-0 on that jam. Ruby Blitz now jamming for the High Rollers up against Zip Drive. Ruby Blitz finding room on the outside. And here we go. High Rollers going to make a show out of it. Rosemary's Baby not able to contain Zip Drive on that last pass. So now here come the points. And Ruby has elected to call. And it's only a 2-point jam. So 2-0 there. 30 points between the teams in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Definitely possible. All it takes is a very opportune power jam, and this game can still go either way. Bad Wolf and Evan Helical. Bad Wolf struggling just a little bit tonight. Both jammers pushing an 8-wall. Everyone's just clumped together right now. Bad Wolf looking for room on the outside. Nobby's not going to have it. Forearm penalty on Rogue One, and Helical gets through and will be your lead jammer. This is going to really be interesting to see how they choose to work this clock. They have control of this jam and can eat up most of the period clock by running this jam. Bad Wolf not out on the initial pass yet, and Helical continuing to rack up points. We'll see what Bonnie and OMG, how they want to have this jam run. We have a successful star pass to Shaolin Spacher. 2 minutes left now in the game. And the word is to call it off. 10-0 jam. Difference back up to 50 with less than 2 minutes left. 30 seconds of which is going to be eaten up on the lineup tracker. Bridgeport Brewing, thank you again for sponsoring the Rose City Rollers. And Deb Counts Tabor, let Deb guide you home. Proud realtor sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. Welcome to PDX.com. All right, it's Nuga Knockout, who has had an impressive string of lead jammer situations here. But this wall has dug in pretty well on her now. And Zip Drive is going to get lead jammer. Nuga Knockout getting free, though, but just over a minute left in this game. Ginar in charge. This could potentially... Well, she gets the call off. Zip Drive was asking for the call off from the outside pack ref. They didn't see it. And High Rollers were able to get away with 4 points. Bonnie Thunder is talking to the outside pack ref and the jam ref about what the call off is. I don't think those 4 points will make too much of a difference with 37 seconds left in this game. The High Rollers not using timeouts here to stop the clock to get a couple of jams in. I'm curious. Shenanigans jamming for GNR up against Ruby Blitz. Guns finding room on the outside, but runs out and runs into the back of Ruby Blitz. And Ruby Blitz gets up and gets lead. Shenanigans not too far behind. Only 8 seconds left in this period clock. Game could still go on. Period clock now expires. Shenanigans gets a big hit out by the High Rollers there. And it looks like Shaolin Spacher gets a penalty. So only 1 minute left in this game, unless Ruby decides to call it off. Can't imagine that she would. Need as many points as possible here. Ruby Blitz got a 2-wall up there she's doing work on. Gets through. Very nice job by Ruby. Shenanigans not having any luck with the high roller wall on this jam. Ruby gets recycled out to the inside. Now we have a pack destruction call on someone. Ruby Blitz trying to get through, a little shirt whip there. And the jam ends as well as the game. GNR stays perfect, 3-0. High Rollers 142, GNR 172. That is your unofficial score. Should be official just shortly. Thank you all for listening to the broadcast tonight. Come check us out either on the broadcast. Hopefully we'll see you here at the Hangar at Oaks Park tomorrow for the Heartless Heathers and the Breakneck Betties. Also Sunday for the juniors doubleheader that starts at 1 o'clock. We'll see you then. Stay tuned for MVPs.
All right, we've got a final score up on the board. The Guns N' Rollers are at 172. The High Rollers 142. We're going to have them take their lap. Don't forget about MVPs. Don't forget about MVPs. Okay. Let's not forget about the High Rollers. High Rollers, go ahead and take your lap. I'll lead us in, and then just kind of say who's your MVP blocker, and then who's your MVP jammer. Separate us a little bit. Don't forget a little bit. Right. Doing what? So I asked them who their MVP blocker is, and then MVP jammer. Right. All right, so we are gonna do the MVP blocker and jammer for both of these teams. So give us just a quick second for them to figure out who they are going to award that status to.
What's that?
And if I can get one of my High Rollers to come on out here and let me know who our MVPs are gonna be. All right, Bad Wolf and Rogue One are out here to join me. So, starting with our MVP blocker, who is our MVP blocker for the Guns N' Rollers?
Our beloved Nabi.
Not me. And who is our MVP jammer?
Evan Helical.
Evan Helical is our MVP jammer. All right, so I'm going to toss it over to Otter. Who do you got?
All right, who we have for our MVP blocker?
Spocker.
Come on down. And who's our MVP jammer tonight?
Nuga.
Well, all right, folks, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate seeing everybody out here. I also want to give a big thanks to everybody who made this happen, all of our volunteers, all of our officials, all of the skaters, and of course the announcers. So, everybody within the sound of my voice, have yourself a safe night, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.